the first use case you think about blockchain is payments, right? So that's the first thing you want to do is show that you can secure a payment mechanism just like Visa, MasterCard, but much more secure without middlemen, take away the fees, offers economies of scale. So the more people use it, the cheaper it gets. The way we view the future of value in the long term, 3 to 5 to 10 years, we view layer 1 blockchains will essentially become like the new republics. These will be the new mechanisms where all the value is going to proliferate to. In the future, there'll be the layer 1 blockchain, there will be the mining market, there'll be the dApps, and there'll be tokens. So the lower you get in the stack, the lower risk you have, but the lower rewards. The highest risk reward will be on the layer 1 blockchain, because that's where all the value will flow up. But it's highest value, highest risk. We view layer 1 blockchains, which is Bitcoin, Syscoin, Ethereum, as court systems. They need to be combative to the external forces that we don't control, even in the software world. In the real world, like inflation, hyperinflation, wars, these systems need to be secure from that. And this is why we view Bitcoin as the gold standard for security and decentralization. What else does the world need? What else does the world cherish when you have something like Bitcoin? How can we extend that to something else where we can take advantage to build real world utility? This is where Ethereum comes in. For me, Ethereum is a gold standard for flexibility or general computation. We're trying to stick to the gold standards we know the world's going to cherish and develop on, and we put those two concepts together. And this is what Syscoin is.
One, two. What up, people? Hotep Jesus. We back. For those not familiar, I am.
That Hotep Jesus do.
What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Real fast. Before we get started, I'm going to have to take one of these red pills. More on that soon. 11/22/22. My channel is sponsored by Syscoin, the best of Bitcoin, the best of Ethereum. This is where merge mining meets smart contracts. We're talking about thousands of transactions per second at a very cost-effective rate. If you want to build the next dApp idea, etc., on the blockchain, one of the best blockchain technologies out there, go to hotepjesus.com/Syscoin or go to hotepjesus.com, hit the Syscoin logo, fill out the form. Somebody from Syscoin will reach out to you immediately. It's in their best interest to do so. Once again, it's hotepjesus.com/Syscoin. Fill out the form and start building on one of the world's greatest blockchain technologies out there. With that being said, let's hop into today's presentation. Well, the other day, 11/17, this bankruptcy filing hit the internet. I was too busy working on other things to actually sit down and go through the doc. So today we are going to do that. So I sat down with it. First of all, shout out to my super chatters that support the channel. Shout out to my cash appers. I will shout you out. Got questions or whatever, super chat it and we'll take care of you. So I finally had a chance to go through this. This is, for anybody not familiar, FTX, the huge debacle, gross negligence, insolvency, Sam Bankman-Fried, millions of dollars to the Democratic Party. Well, this is what happens after it's all said and done. So this comes from a John J. Ray III. He's the interim CEO. I believe he also handled the bankruptcy for Enron. And we're going to look at his comments in regards to this bankruptcy court for the District of Delaware. FTX Trading Limited. So I'm just going to do a lot of scrolling right to my notes here so we can sort through this stuff. I want to do this expeditiously but thoroughly at the same time. He says here, never in my career have I seen such complete failure of corporate controls and such a complete absence of trustworthy financial information as occurred here. Now, I just told you this is the same guy that handled the bankruptcy, the insolvency issue for Enron. I'm going to repeat this back. And I might have to do this a bunch of times throughout this presentation. At certain points, I'm going to have to read back to you. And when I read them back to you, it's because I want to place an emphasis so you remember how important these parts of the document are. Number 5, never in my career have I seen such a complete failure of corporate controls and such a complete absence of trustworthy financial information as occurred here. Just going to skip through all lists. We're going to go straight to the petition debtors. The pre-petition debtors. And so the parent company, it looks like, is called West Realm Shires, Inc. Let me fix my screens here. So the document's going to be, the debtors are going to be segmented out into these things they call silos. So they have the different silos there: FTX, Ledger X, FTX US Derivatives, FTX US Capital Markets, Alameda Research, etc., etc. Number 10, he says each of these silos was controlled by Mr. Bankman-Fried. He's talking about Sammy, our Sammy boy. Zhao, Gary Wang, and Nishad Singh. Now, this Gary Wang, nobody seems to be able to track him down. Some people don't even know if he's a real person. All kinds of speculations is happening, but that's irrelevant to what we're going to be talking about today. Company was founded in, FTX US was founded in January 2020. This is when, isn't this when Biden took office? I don't know. Let's continue. So it says here, FTX US spot exchanges registered with the Department of Treasury via FinCEN, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, as a money service business and holds a series of state money transmission licenses in the United States. Now, why did I highlight this? I wanted to show you how there are companies out there, corporations out there that are compliant under regulators and regulation. And therefore, that means absolutely nothing. For the most part, it means nothing. They say these things are supposed to protect people, right? That's their excuse. They say we need more regulation to protect people. Obviously, the regulation didn't work in this instance. It says the WRS silo also owns 100% of the equity interest in the Ledger X business, which is operated by non-debtor Ledger X. Ledger X offers futures, options, swap contracts on digital assets and other commodities. Ledger X operates with licenses from CFTC. What does CFTC stand for again? Federal Trade Commission, something Federal Trade Commission. Okay. Chat, you guys can throw that in the chat, in the comment box for people so they know. Okay. Based on the information that I've reviewed at this time, Ledger X is solvent, which means they carry more assets than liabilities. Now, Ledger X is the platform through which people were trading these digital assets and other commodities. Okay. It says WRS Silo also owns 100% of the equity interest in non-debtor Embed Financial Technologies, Inc., as well as its wholly owned non-debtor subsidiary What does that say? Embed Clearing LLC, which operates as a securities clearing firm. Commodity Futures and Trading Commission. Thank you. Commodity Futures and Trading Commission. Thank you. That's what CFTC stands for. Commodity Futures and Trading Commission. Thank you. So it's the commission that's supposed to be governing, trading platforms, trading firms. This is what the CFTC is supposed to do. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so it says it operates as a securities clearing firm, an SEC registered broker and dealer. So again, this is one of these trading firms. Basically, you put your money in, and you either make trades or they make trades on your behalf, however that works, and they're custodian of your dollars or whatever liquidity you've injected into the platform. Let's continue. So it says here, WRS Silo also owns 100% of other debtor and non-debtor companies operating miscellaneous businesses, such as video game development and marketplace for trading non-fungible tokens. So NFTs, video games and NFTs. Nowadays, those things sort of go hand in hand. You're going to see a lot of NFTs and video games going hand in hand. Finally, the WRS Silo has made loans and investments, including a loan of FTT tokens, basically complete shitcoin, to BlockFi Inc., a principal amount of FTT tokens valued at $250 million as of September 30th, 2022. Now I want to stop right there. I've had deals in the past where I've worked with companies and they said, hey, we'd love to pay you to be an influencer for our company. Will you accept our token in exchange for your services? And my answer is usually, hell fucking no. I want USD. This is one of the times where it's like, nah, I want fucking United States dollar. Give me that fiat. I don't want your shit coin. Give me fiat. And if I'm ever in a situation where I do accept it, I'm not cashing it out because I don't want to be liable. So I would just hold on to that coin. It'll sit in some MetaMask wallet somewhere, and that'll be that. I ain't touching it. I know better. So the question I have is, for a company like BlockFi, why in the hell did they decide it was a good idea to take a loan? Correct me if I'm wrong, but it says right here in the filing, included a loan of FTT tokens to BlockFi Inc. in a principal amount of tokens valued at $250 million as of September 30th, 2022. So we have to stop right there. Now we have to go and we have to look at the value of the token at that time. Hold on a second. Let's pull that up. Here we are. Oh, oops. My bad. Hold up. Yeah, I wasn't supposed to see that. Here we go. Little Easter egg there for you. Okay, so let's go here. Let's find September. They say September 30th, right? Wait, what year was it? 2022. September 30th. Right here. Boom. September 30th, 2022. Do you guys see that? I want to make sure you can see that on the screen. Okay, good. You guys can see that. So September 30th. Hey, don't tell nobody y'all seen that shit. Okay. September 30th, 2022. The price was $24. $24. You see that? $24.24. 24.24. That's 6.6. Now, if you add in the date 2022, that's 666. Two, 4 is 6 plus 2 and 4 is 6. You guys see that? The 9, if you flip the 9 upside down, the 9 is a 6. We're not even gonna get into. Let's keep going. Today, that shit coin is worth $1.04. I don't even know how it still has a value. I'm sorry, $1.40. I don't know how it still has a value. Okay. So we saw that tank, right? So let's go back. Let's go back. So what does it say here? They took a loan out in a shit coin that has now basically gone from $24 to $1. So this 250 million is worth about how much? Chat, give me some numbers. Give me some numbers as to how much that is. My brain is fried from working all day. My mental math is gonna fail me. I want to say, how many zeros are gonna drop off? What is that worth now? If they had 250 million at $24 a share, and today it's about $1.40 per share, what's that worth now? Somebody do the math and drop that in the chat so I can share it with the people. I want to say it's probably $25,000 now, or 250,000. 200. Is it 250,000? Somebody do the math. Tell me. All right, so let's continue. I have been provided with an unaudited consolidated balance sheet available. The balance sheet shows 1.6 billion in total assets as of that date. However, because this balance sheet was produced while the debtors were controlled by Mr. Bankman-Fried, I do not have confidence in it. And you'll see why he doesn't have any confidence in it by the time we get to the end of this presentation. I don't think anybody in the world would have any confidence in this guy. Tater Jack said that was FTT, not FTX. Yes, FTT is the token that was issued by FTX. I'm sorry, I skipped that detail. But FTT is the token that was issued by FTTX. So we're clear. All right, let's go down. It says, to my knowledge, the WRS, the silo debtors, do not have any long-term or funded debt. The WRS silo debtors are expected to have significant liabilities arising from crypto assets deposited by customers through the FTX platform. However, such liabilities are not reflected in the financial statements prepared while these companies were under the control of Mr. Bankman-Fried. He said it's worth about 15 million-ish. Okay, thank you. My math was way off. 1.4 worth like 15 million. Okay, so that FTT went from 250 million to 1.4 million. To 15 million. Thank you, oh baby, I like it raw, for that quick math. What a name. All right, so what did he just say? The chart below summarizes certain information regarding. Okay, so it says the liabilities arising from the crypto assets deposited by customers through the FTX US platform. However, such liabilities are not reflected in the financial statements prepared while these companies were under the control of Mr. Bankman-Fried. What? He didn't have an account of the money people gave him? The money people trusted in his platform? Is that what that just said? Let's continue. Now we're going to go to the Alameda silo, which is basically a glorified crypto hedge fund. Actually, it's going to say it here. The parent company and primary operating company in the Alameda silo is Alameda Research, LLC, which is organized in the state of Delaware. Before the petition date, as defined below, the Alameda silo operated quantitative trading funds specializing in crypto assets. Now, quantitative trading fund is basically a fancy way of saying, you know, we look at the different securities out there, in this case, crypto coins, and we decide based upon trading volume and other factors. You know, you can talk to your traders. They know all about this stuff, you know, volume and all types of indicators. What else would they look at? They would also look at market cap, price fluctuations, so on and so forth. So that's basically what quantitative trading is, right? Specializing in crypto assets. Strategies include arbitrage, market making, yield farming, and trading volatility. Now, yield farming is what BlockFi was doing. Basically, what happens is you take your crypto coins, you put them on the platform, they lend them out, and they give you a yield, right? So that's yield farming. And trading volatility, right? So trading volatility, yeah, we covered that. The Alameda silo also offered over-the-counter trading services and made and managed other debt and equity investments. In short, the Alameda silo was a crypto hedge fund with a diversified business trading and speculating in digital assets and related loans and securities for the account of its owners. Bankman-Fried owned 90% of that, and Wang owned 10%.
China!
Alameda Research, LLC prepared consolidated financial statements on a quarterly basis. To my knowledge, none of these financial statements have been audited. None of these financial statements have been audited. The September 30th, 2022 balance sheet for Alameda Silo shows $13.46 billion in total assets as of its date. However, because this balance sheet was unaudited and produced while the debtors were controlled by Mr. Bankman-Fried, I do not have confidence in it, and the information therein may not be correct as of the date stated. Now, here's a footnote. In the footnote here, he says, related party loans receivable of $4.1 billion at Alameda Research Consolidated consisted primarily of a loan by Euclid Way Limited to Paperbird Inc., a debtor of $2.3 billion, and 3 loans by Alameda Research Limited. Now remember, Alameda Research, this is the crypto hedge fund. Who they loan the money to? Mr. Bankman-Fried. How much? $1 billion. One to Mr. Singh of $543 million, and one to Ryan Salame of $55 million. Now I got some questions here real fast before we continue. I have some questions. Where is
China?
Where's Mr. Wang? They was fucking cutting loans to individuals from the hedge fund and
China
didn't get none. Mr. Wang ain't getting none. So he's 90% owner, Mr. Bankman-Fried, and 10% Mr. Wang. But Mr. Wang never thought to take out a loan. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I don't know. A loan of $1 billion. So how is this possible? Let's talk about how this is done, right? Because I know there's a lot of young kids and they're like, what the fuck is going on? What you have to understand is that in the United States, money equals debt, okay? And money is created out of debt. Does that make any sense? Hell no. I'm telling you right now, the financial system is so hard to understand because it makes absolutely zero common sense. It's all fucking make-believe. This shit is a fucking fantasy. It was like they sat down and let their imagination run wild, but it makes absolutely no sense. So basically what happens is, let's say I got $1 in my pocket, right? Okay, I got $20 in my pocket. And I go, hey, I got $20 in my pocket. And I come to you and I say, yo, bro, let me give me $20. I'll flip it. I'll turn your $20 into 40. You go, okay, cool. I was only gonna take, I don't know, maybe a year or something like that. Okay, cool. Here. So you give me $20. It means nothing to you. It's just $20. So now I take the $40 and I go to somebody else and I got $40 in the bank, yo. Loan me 40. And I flip it for you. Now I got 80. Now this is a very dumbed down version of what they're doing, but basically that's what they're doing. Basically what they're doing is they're leveraging cash or liquidity or numbers on a screen to go and raise more money. So they're basically saying, hey, look, I got $1 million here. You know, I'm good for it. You know, and sometimes what they do is they over leverage it. So in that case, I was leveraging it 2-to-1, right? They're leveraging this stuff 10-to-1. In Sam Bankman-Fried's case, it's like 100-to-1 or something like that. Maybe 1,000-to-1. Who knows? But this is what they're doing. They're over leveraging liquidity, basically creating insolvency. Insolvency is when you carry way more liabilities than you have in liquidity, way more than you have in assets. Assets, not liquidity, assets. Liquidity will be included in assets. Okay? So this is how America's financial system is run. It's run off of fucking made up numbers on a screen based upon the money that you deposit in the bank. Okay, so they go, look, we got, you know, a bunch of people to put money in our bank. You should give us some more since we were able to raise this amount. And then we're going to take that money and then we're going to invest that money, right? So, you know, for example, if we dumb this down and say, you know, let's say I was a drug dealer, right? I know we got a lot of people from the streets here that watch my channel, and you might understand this stuff better if I say it like that. If I say, hey, look, you know, some guy's dealing in loan shark, give me $1,000, I'm going to take it. Or how much does a brick go on the street for now? I don't know. Maybe a brick goes for 20K. I don't know. I don't flip this stuff. So maybe a brick goes for 20K. You ask somebody for 20K, you get the brick, you flip the brick to 100K or whatever a brick flips to, right? Now you could give that person back the 20K, or you could, you know, go to somebody else and say, I have 100K in liquid assets. Give me $1 million. And you go back and you get more bricks and you keep doing that. That's basically what's happening is they're basically borrowing money to invest, to find something to flip. The problem is if you do this on the street, if I go to El Chapo and I said, yo, loan me a brick, if I don't come back with his money or his brick, well, I might have bricks tied to my feet and I might be tossed in the river. I might get my legs broken. Who knows? There's going to be some consequences to pay. But in the financial world, depending on who you are, he said 50K for a brick right now. Damn. Okay. Just asked a friend. A friend. So, based upon, you know, who you are, you know, maybe Sam Bankman-Fried still hasn't been arrested yet. There are no really severe consequences as of yet. If that made sense, put the dollar emoji in the chat. He said, the street's my way straighter than the banking system. My connect will have me spot anything. You see what I'm saying? He said, oh no, my connect will spot me anything. Put some dollar emojis if that explanation made sense. That's our financial system. The streets, he's right. The streets is probably way straighter than America's banking system. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. All right, let's go back to the document. I just wanted to explain that because I know we got a lot of young kids here that don't understand money. As a matter of fact, let me give you another great thing you can use to simulate. There's this game called Sim Companies. I'm not sure if it's for Android. I think they have a desktop version. It's called Sim Companies. And if you want to grow your company really fast in this game, this is a good way to simulate what they're doing with money. So basically what happens is, let's say you have a factory, right? You start up a factory in the game and you start selling silicon, right? Cool. The factory can be leveraged to take out debt in the game. They issue bonds. So what you do is you go to other players, you issue a bond, and you say, yo, I need bond and I can get more liquidity, right? So you based upon they call it debt to building ratio in the game. So you can only take the amount of debt that's equal to the amount of assets you have in building worth. Okay. Now the trick to the game is keep building buildings and keep getting bonds. I mean, you got nothing to lose. It's a game, right? So if you can keep getting bonds, you can keep getting money. You can upgrade your factories faster, right? So that's what, and then that's how you get, several millions, and that's really the fastest way to play this game. It's the fastest way to get to the top of this game. Is you build a factory, pull out a bond. You get a factory, borrow money. You get a factory, borrow money. Just keep borrowing money, right? Just keep borrowing money. And in the game, they do this through debt. So that's how people will teach you. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? Yeah, I think they talk about that in that book too. So basically, that's how people will tell you to live your life in America. And maybe this is true. So basically what happens is, you're a young kid, people say, hey, make sure you got good credit. Make sure you got good credit. I agree. You go, you get your credit up. Maybe, you want to start a clothing line. You take out a loan or credit card and just run it up, $10,000 to get your thing off the line. The difference between a game and real life is, you might mess your credit up. A game, you can just delete it and go away. In real life, I think it takes 7 years before your stuff is expunged. I'm not sure about business credit though. So anyway, yeah, you want to leverage debt to get your business up, OPM, other people's money, get this thing cash flowing, and you pay them back later, right? But even when you do that and you get your business up, after you have the financials, right? And you say, well, I borrowed 20,000, my business did 100,000 in revenue. I can take that amount of money that's in revenue and go to investors and say, yo, we did 100,000 in revenue. If you give me $1 million, I can do $1 million in revenue or 10 million in revenue in the next 5 years, right? And then once you do the 10 million, what do? You go to another round of investors and say, hey, you should give me 100 million. And it just keeps going. And it just keeps going. This is the world of venture capital. This is what they're doing in startup. This is what they're doing in Silicon Valley. Except venture capital isn't borrowed money. They're basically giving you money. Sometimes your contracts are borrowed money, but a lot of times they just expect to take a loss. It's just part of their books to take a loss. It's part of the nature of VC and angel investor to take a loss. All right. Enough education. I just wanted to put the education out there so this stuff makes sense to the people watching this channel. We gotta keep people up to date. So anyway, Bankman-Fried took out a loan. Wait. Now let's put this in order. Sam created a company. His dad helped him get investors. We just talked about that. VCs, angel investors. Tom Brady was one of them. Created this FTX platform, created Alameda, and then with that capital, loaned money to himself out of that. Crazy, bro. Crazy. Pays to have good connections, man. Your daddy is like, we're gonna talk about his daddy. It's in here. He's in this report. All right, so let's go to the ventures silo. It says the debtors in the venture silo. Hold on, let me check on my Rumble people. My Rumble people good? Shout out to Rumble tuners. I see y'all Rumble people. Okay. Y'all participating in shit. Cannon Hotep over there in Rumble. What up, Cannon? All right, let's get back to it. All right. The debtors in the venture silo make and manage private investments. Private. This is private individuals, private corporations, right? Let's go. So they list the names of these people, of these corporations here that are doing the, And there's 4 of them here. There's 4 of them under this silo. 4 different companies. Anybody ever watch Ozark? Yo, shout out to Classic Kev for the big super chat. I appreciate you, man. We're going to get to the super chats and we're going to open up the phone lines in a little bit. Anybody ever watch Ozark? Anyway, 29. He says, I have not been able to locate financial statements for Island Bay Ventures, Inc. So you got a firm who's handling investments probably in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions. And, I just can't find those financial statements. Who knows where they are? Who needs those? Who needs a financial statement for a multi-million-dollar corporation? Oh, we don't need those. All right, let's continue. It says right here, related party accounts payable. So it says accounts payable, right? Now, watch this. We just talked about debt. We talked about loans, right? So under this ventures silo, Alameda Research is a debtor to the tune of $1.4 million. Alameda Research LLC, so it's limited was $1.4 million. Alameda Research LLC, $68.6 million. And Alameda Ventures, a total of $38.5 million. And one with West Realm Share Services, $2.25 million. Now, let me correct myself real fast because I'm doing a lot of talking and speaking here. This does not mean that the venture silos loaned money out to these groups. Let me correct myself. What this could mean is that Alameda Research Limited, Alameda Research LLC, and Ventures Limited deposited money with this venture silo. West Realm Shares deposited money with this ventures silo in order for the ventures silo to invest that money. Does that make sense? Now, Alameda Research is what? Glorified hedge fund. But the hedge fund is taking their money and passing it to another corporation. That corporation's also handling investments. What? What? If you want to know why you can't get rich in America, it's because you're not doing shit like this. So this is a class on getting rich. I could have renamed this video, here's a class on getting rich. That's what I could sell this as. How to become a billionaire. Let's continue. You're going to need some connections, though, because his daddy was the connections to BlackRock. You're going to need some connections. Anyway, let's continue. Okay, so we just did the venture silo. Now this is the .com silo. And we haven't even scratched the surface of the messiness in this bankruptcy filing. So it says the .com silo includes FTX.com, the trade name for the business conducted by the parent company in the .com silo, FTX Trading Ltd. Okay, which is organized in Antigua, not the U.S., Antigua. Why? Because regulations, of course. FTX is a digital asset trading platform and exchange. It was founded by an individual, Sam Bankman-Fried, Mr. Wang,
China,
and Mr. Singh, and commenced operations in May 2019. Okay. The .com silo also holds certain marketplace licenses and registrations in certain non-U.S. jurisdictions, including the European Union and Japan. The FTX.com platform is not available to U.S. users. Okay. And I think there's a FTX US, which is a different entity. But keep in mind, not U.S., foreign countries. Okay. In addition to its core digital asset exchange, the .com silo offered an off-exchange portal that enabled users to connect and request quotes for spot digital assets and trade directly. Okay. The portal enabled users to lend their digital assets to other users for spot trading and match users wanting to borrow with those willing to lend. Okay. Seems harmless, right? Right? The FTX platform quickly grew since its launch to become one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world. Mr. Bankman-Fried claimed that by the end of 2021, around $15 billion worth of assets were on the platform, which according to him handled approximately 10% of the global volume of crypto trading at the time. Mr. Bankman-Fried also claimed that FTX.com, as of July 22nd, had millions of registered users. These figures have not been verified by my team. So we're going to skip over a bunch of this stuff. If you look here, the .com silo, total assets, what does that say? $2.2 million. That's it? That's it? Where the money at? That's it? So it says right here, non-debtor FTX Digital Markets Limited had a net intercompany accounts payable of $30 million due to entities controlled by debtor FTX Ltd. Limited. All right. And then here, also on their books, you'll see what we were talking about earlier. Loans receivable, $250 million. FTX US consists of a loan of Block 5, $250 million. We talked about that before. Okay, so we covered that. Now let's look at the next part here. Now keep in mind, I put this stuff on your desk so you can see it. I suggest pulling up this document, looking over yourself, and understanding what some of this stuff says. Okay. I was just looking at the chat. To my knowledge, the .com silo debtors do not have any long-term or funded debt. Good. The .com silo debtors may have significant liabilities to customers. Customers. That's who they owe through the FTX.com platform. However, now pay attention, such liabilities are not reflected in the financial statements prepared by these companies while they were under the control of Mr. Bankman-Fried. What? None of the financial statements show the liabilities you owe to customers? Wow. Right here. Customer custodial fund liabilities are comprised of fiat customer deposit balances. Balances of customer crypto assets deposited were not recorded as assets on a balance sheet and are not presented. Basically saying this sheet right here, it's not there. Okay. So you won't see that in this document. So it says events leading to Chapter 11 filing. So what exactly led to the need for this bankruptcy? It says here the debtors faced a severe liquidity crisis that necessitated the filing of these Chapter 11 cases on an emergency basis on November 11th, 2022. And in the case of the debtor, WRS, West Realm Shires Inc., on November 14th, 2022. In the days leading up to the petition date, certain of the circumstances described in Part 3 below became known to a broader set of executives of the FTX group beyond Mr. Bankman-Fried and members of his inner circle. So his team was alerted to this, like, wait, hold on. There's a problem here. Questions arose about Mr. Bankman-Fried's leadership and the handling of the debtors' complex array of assets and businesses. Now, if you know anything about investing, handling your own portfolio, you gotta want to be, definitely want to be organized, but you want to keep things simplified and streamlined. Anybody that says, they hold a whole bunch of different stocks, I don't know if that's too unless you do that full time. Right. But if you have a job or whatever, I don't suggest holding a whole bunch of different types of stocks. It's better to hold a few. And this is not a financial advice. It's better to hold a few that you can keep an eye on and just dollar cost average into them. All right. So anyway, let's continue. As the situation became increasingly dire, Sullivan and Cromwell, and Alvarez and Marsal were engaged to provide restructuring advice and services to the debtors. Okay, so it says November 10, 2022, Security Commission in the Bahamas froze the assets. Cool, let's go down. At the same time, negotiations were being held between certain senior individuals of the FTX group and Mr. Bankman-Fried concerning the resignation of Mr. Bankman. Okay, this is him. And right here you see legal counsel, who is have listed as his legal counsel, his father. And who's his father? Professor Joseph Bankman at where? Stanford Law School. How we would all love to have a dad who's a professor at Stanford Law. Prestige, as they would say. Prestigious university. This is what the prestige, this is what the children of the prestigious do in our country. Why? Because their dad is an attorney at Stanford Law. So he felt like, oh, I can do what I want. I can get away with this. Let's continue. A document affecting a relinquishment of control was prepared, and comments from Mr. Bankman-Fried's team incorporated at approximately 4:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Friday, November 11, 2022. After further consultation with his legal counsel, Mr. Bankman-Fried ultimately decided to resign. Okay, let's continue. So here, action taken since Mr. Bankman-Fried's departure. Look at this, number 46. Many of the companies in the FTX group, especially those organized in Antigua and the Bahamas, did not have appropriate corporate governance. I understand that many entities, for example, never had any board meetings. What? I mean, I'm not going to say it. Let's just go. I don't want to be liable for anything legally done with this case either. So then here in this section, they're looking at all the people coming in and handling this bankruptcy, right? Basically new board of directors or whatever. 49, the directors intend to hold joint board meetings of the debtors on matters of common interest, including the implementation of controls, asset protection and recovery, the investigation into claims against the founder and third parties. So they're going to be investigating the founder and all of his third parties. Let's continue. B, cash management. The FTX group did not maintain centralized control of its cash. Okay. I mean, I'm not going to be, I won't scrutinize too much. Maybe you want to decentralize control of your cash in some sort of responsible manner. I don't know. I've never been a billionaire before. Cash management procedural failures included the absence of accurate list of bank accounts and account signatories. So he doesn't have a list of the bank accounts or the signatories, the people who are allowed to sign off on these checks and balances. There's no list anywhere, or it's not accurate. As well as insufficient attention to the credit worthiness of banking partners around the world. So they didn't even care what the credit score was, who they're lending to or doing business with. Oh, you know what? BMF, blowing money fast. Let's continue. More numbers. You guys can look at that on your own time. Number 53, the debtors have been in contact with banking institutions that they believe hold or may hold debtor cash. The banking institutions have been instructed to freeze withdrawals and alerted not to accept instructions from Mr. Bankman-Fried and other signatories. All right. Financial reporting. The audit. So let me read 55. The FTX group received audit opinions on the consolidated financial statements for two of the silos, the WRS silo and the .com silo. And there's 4 silos total. So only 2. For the period ended December 31st, 2021. The audit firm for the WRS silo Armanino LLP was a firm with which I am professionally familiar. The audit firm for the .com silo was Prager Metis, a firm with which I am not familiar and whose website indicates they are the first ever CPA firm to officially open its metaverse headquarters in the metaverse platforms in the metaverse platform Decentraland. The motherfuckers got a HQ out of the metaverse now? What? Okay, 56. I have substantial concerns. Again, I have substantial concerns as to the information presented in these audited financial statements, especially with respect to the .com silo. As a practical matter, I do not believe it appropriate for stakeholders or the court to rely on the audited financial statements as a reliable indication of the financial circumstances of these silos. 57. The debtors have not yet been able to locate any audited financial statements with respect to the Alameda silo and the Ventures silo. And those are the two investment firms, or investment silos. I'm sorry. Those are the two investment silos. The hedge fund stuff. So the hedge fund silos, crypto trading silos, investment silos, they have not been able to locate any audited financial statements. What? Man. The debtors are locating and securing all available financial records, but expect it will be some time before reliable historical financial statements can be prepared for the FTX group, with which I am comfortable as CEO. The debtors do not have an accounting department and outsource this function. Okay. So in this case, when they say debtors, I believe they're talking about the new regime that has taken over this company, is handling the bankruptcy or whatever. Human resources. Listen to this. The FTX group's approach to human resources combined employees of various entities and outside contractors. Where they do that at? You always separate those two. What is that? W-2 versus, what is it? 1099? W-9 or is, no, one of them, the salary is W-2 and the other one's 1099, right? It's two completely different forms with unclear records and lines of responsibility. So they don't have records of these people, or the records are unclear, and they don't know what their roles are with the company. At this time, the debtors have been unable to prepare a complete list of who worked for the FTX group as of the petition date. So I don't even know. I don't even know who worked for this company or the terms of their employment. What up, Trish? Trish in the house. Trish at 1099 is correct. Thank you. Okay. Repeated attempts to locate certain presumed employees to confirm their status has been unsuccessful to date. So I don't even know who worked for the company. $1 billion company, we have no idea who works here. We have no idea who works here. We don't know what nobody does either. Who cares? We're just winging it. My dad works for Stanford Law School. It's all good. Don't worry about it. Forget about it. Sorry, Trish. Disbursement controls. Now I had to highlight everything in this section. This is just egregious. The debtors did not have the type of disbursement controls that I believe are appropriate for a business enterprise. Listen to this. For example, employees of the FTX group submitted payment requests through an online chat platform, a chat app, where a disparate group of supervisors approved disbursements by responding with personalized emojis. submitted payment requests through a chat app and your boss responded with emojis. Bruh. Sketch, why you always gotta jump the gun? Relax, let me get through the document, bro. You dropping spoilers, bruh. Chill out. Come on, Sketch. Let's continue. He said rocket emoji. In the Bahamas, I understand that corporate funds of the FTX group were used to purchase homes and other personalized items for employees and advisors. Oh, wow. Home for you, a home for you, and a home for you. I understand that there does not appear to be documentation for certain of these transactions as loans, and that certain real estate was recorded in the personal name of these employees and advisors on the records of the Bahamas. So the corporation uses corporate funds to buy houses for people, then the houses are put in individuals' names. Bruh. What? Somebody in the Rumble asked how many questions are involved, how many companies are. They don't even know, bro. You can go count them all in this, but it was so bad they had to just divide them up into silos. There's 4 silos and there's a bunch of companies under each silo. I'm not going back to count them all, but they're there in the document. Shout out to my Rumble listeners. This is wild. Corporate funds. Trish said this gives me hives. Yo, this is why we not rich, because we not doing shit like this. I'm gonna say it again. Corporate funds to purchase homes and other personal items. What were these personal items? Meth? Medellin? Who knows? Let's go down. Digital asset custody. The FTX group did not keep appropriate books and records or security controls with respect to its digital assets. Now, if anybody knows anything about crypto, the first thing you worry about with crypto is security. It's based upon cryptographic technology. Many a times, SHA-256 algorithm. Right? But security is a big part of this. Syscoin, my sponsor. What do they use for security? Merge mining using the Bitcoin hashing network. So security controls were not in place. For your crypto, for people's crypto, you didn't even secure the crypto. Mr. Bankman-Fried and Mr. Wayne controlled access to the digital assets on the main businesses in the FTX group, with exception of Ledger X, regulated by the CFTC, and certain other regulated and or licensed subsidiaries. Okay. Unacceptable management practices included, get ready, the use of an unsecured group email account as the root user to access confidential private keys. Oh my God. Now, for all my crypto people out there, I know you just lost it right there. I know you just lost it. All right. So people who are not familiar with crypto, the way crypto works is, when you start dealing with your wallet, you got a key. It's basically a string of characters, right? And a long string, right? And it's private. You hide it somewhere, usually on a computer that hasn't been connected to the internet, right? This is what you want to do. In this case, where did they hold this? On a group email account That means multiple people have access to the private keys for cryptocurrency. Who knows who has these private keys? And we're going to talk about that later when we look at where these assets went and some leaked. But also an unsecured email account. Maybe it's not using SSL or what's the other one? TLS. This is unsecured email account. Let's continue. This is crazy. Absolutely insane. And critically, so here's the problem. When you have all these different places and they say, you're regulated and they say want regulations. Well, if these people were so good at regulations, how come they didn't ask them, what are your security measures to manage the crypto assets? They can't do that. You know why? Because the people doing the regulations don't know fucking shit about crypto. So how you going to regulate some shit you know nothing about? And critically sensitive data for the FTX group companies around the world. Let's repeat that again. Included the use of an unsecured group email account as the root user. The root user. The root user. The root user. That means the origin, the genesis, the mother, to access confidential private keys and not only the private keys, but critically sensitive data for the FTX group companies around the world. TLS 1.2 or higher, right? Yeah. Okay, let's continue. The absence of daily reconciliation of positions on the blockchain. So they're not even looking at their positions or reconciling their positions, right? To make sense of them, to decide if this is a good decision or not. The use of software to conceal the misuse of customer funds. The secret exemption of Alameda from certain aspects of FTX.com's auto liquidation protocol. An absence of independent governance as between Alameda and the .com silo. Ray Aviles, I hope I said that right. Aviles, he said, Sam was pushing for regulation the hardest and ran a company like this. Y'all think this is a false flag yet? Bruh. I need a bruh button on here. Remind me to do that. Let me write that down. Let's see here. Let me put bruh button on my to-do list. Bruh button. Good. Thank you. Let's continue. Where was I? Okay. So they had software installed to conceal the misuse of customer funds. Now there's an auto liquidation protocol. Basically what I believe this is, and chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but this auto liquidation protocol would be something that you would set in case your trades go left and you're like, all right, let's liquidate this trade, kind of like a stop loss. Correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody put 1 in the chat if I'm right, 2 if I'm wrong. And the absence of independent governance as between Alameda. So basically, this is basically saying there should have been an independent government body between Alameda and the .com silo, right? The .com silo and their hedge fund silo. All right, let's continue. All right. Okay. The debtors have located and secured only a fraction of digital assets on the FTX group that they hope to recover in these Chapter 11 cases. The debtors have secured in new cold wallets approximately $740 million of cryptocurrency that the debtors believe is attributable to either WRS, Alameda, or the .com silo. The debtors have not yet been able to determine how much of this cryptocurrency is allocable to each silo, or even if such an allocation can be determined. So let me break that down. They're trying to recover the digital assets, but they can't recover the digital assets because, well, multiple people have access to the private keys. Remember we just went over that, the private keys? You get the keys to multiple groups on an unsecured network. Who knows who has the cryptocurrency assets? Cray. So because the books are terrible, they don't know how much, they don't know what cryptocurrency assets belong to what silo. Is it the hedge fund silo, is it the .com silo? What silo does this belong to? They can't even tell you that. These balances exclude cryptocurrency not currently under the debtor's control as a result of at least 372 million of unauthorized transfers initiated on the petition date. Why don't I have that highlighted? What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Do you guys see this? 372 million of unauthorized transfers were initiated on the petition date, the date that they petitioned to have this bankruptcy. 372 million of unauthorized cryptocurrency transferred went missing. Bruh. If this shit getting spooky yet, put some ghost emojis in the chat. Jesus, Lord have mercy. All right, let's continue. I want to make this palatable for the people on the playback. And I'm going to put this in audio version. Where were we? Okay, 372 million of unauthorized transfers. Okay. During which time the debtors immediately began moving cryptocurrency into cold storage to mitigate the risk to the remaining cryptocurrency that was accessible at the time. Now, the dilutive minting of approximately 300 million in FTT tokens by an unauthorized source after the petition date. Now, I'm a crypto geek. I'm not even I'm in between novice and intermediate. But please tell me, guys, when they say dilutive minting of approximately 300 million in FTT tokens, that basically means cashed out. Press 1 in the chat if that means cashed out. Because they use these, complicated terms. Dilutive minting. They get cashed out, okay? Cashed out 300 million worth of FTT tokens by an unauthorized source after the petition date, after the bankruptcy filing. The failure of the co-founders and potentially others to identify additional wallets believed to contain debtor assets. What? So they can't even, the founders, the co-founders have failed to identify the wallets. 67. In response, the debtors have engaged forensic analysis to identify potential debtor assets on the blockchain. So now they're so here, cybersecurity professionals to identify the parties responsible for the unauthorized transactions. So now they're trying to track these fools down. Right? And you see here, I got to highlight it. They got the best in the world. They got the best. This is what they say. This is what homie said. John J. Ray III said the best in the world are going to be going into criminal transactions. So you said minting equals printing. Right. But it says dilutive minting, which changes the meaning of minting. It's a modifier. Right? Let's continue. He said, you think it means they just printed more shitcoins? Yeah, that's what I thought at first, but it says dilutive minting. So what's the difference between minting and dilutive minting? If you're saying dilutive minting, you're diluting the coin. You're liquidating it, right? No? But yes, I'm going to have to go and say I agree. Yes, minting, there's a possibility that I'm understanding is wrong. And he just printed, that amount of shitcoins, FTT shitcoins. But please correct me on the whole dilutive minting. Oh, Milton Bates says dilutive minting means they printed FTX, which diluted the existing supply of FTX. Okay, yes, that makes sense. Thank you. That makes sense. That makes sense. Damn. Oh, shit. That's worse than I originally thought. Basically devaluing the currency. That's basically what they did. They basically printed more coins and devalued the currency. Damn, that's crazy. That's malicious as shit. Wow. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. See, this is why I got a smart chat here to help me out. Help me through this stuff. So best in the world is supposed to be working on this investigation. All right, let's continue. Although the investigation has only begun and must run its course, it is my view, based on information obtained to date, that many of the employees of the FTX group, including some of its senior executives, were not aware of the shortfalls of potential commingling of digital assets. Indeed, I believe some of the people most hurt by the events are current and former employees and executives whose personal investments and reputations have suffered. Next section here, custody of other assets and investments. And it says here, however, the main companies in Alameda and Silo and the venture silo did not keep complete books and records of their investment activities. Okay, check that out. Again, Alameda and the venture silo are the trading firms. These are like the hedge fund type activity, but they're not keeping books and records of their investments and activities. The hedge fund of all places. I mean, why wouldn't you keep record of your transactions?
Come on, man.
Information and retention of documents. One of the most pervasive failures of the FTX.com business, in particular, is the absence of lasting records of decision making. Mr. Bankman often communicated by using applications that were set to auto-delete after a short period of time and encouraged employees to do the same.
Come on, man.
I'm going to read that back. Mr. Bankman often communicated by using applications that were set to auto-delete after a short period of time and encouraged employees to do so. So they're not keeping records of their records or books of their investments and activities, and they're not even keeping track of their communications. Now, I know me, right? You know, if I use a piece of software like Airtable or, some other platform where there's communications with teams, they usually charge you. Like, you have to pay extra to keep a record of your communications because you want to look back on your communications and see where did lines of communication maybe break down with an employee or a partner, right? And say, oh, you forgot to tell me this. No, I didn't forget to tell you this. It's right here. Let's look back in our records. We can go 60 days ago. I can look it up and I can see what was said. So there was no miscommunication. Or we can say, you know what, you're right. It doesn't, I never did tell you that. We have a record. So the fact that he didn't want to keep records is very spooky.
Come on, man.
Very spooky. And encouraged employees to do the same?
Come on, man.
What? Whole bunch of other boring shit. The debtors are unable to create a list of their top 50 creditors. That includes customers without access to the data repositories at issue and may seek related relief from the court as well if the problem cannot be promptly resolved. So that means they don't have records of who the top 50 creditors are. People who gave them money. Tater Jackson, nah, if you stealing, exactly. No paper trail, exactly. Corporate communication. Finally and critically, we're at the end here of Mr. John J. Ray III documents, and I'm gonna open up the phone lines. Y'all can call in, talk about this. Corporate communications. Finally and critically, the debtors have made clear to employees and the public that Mr. Bankman-Fried is not employed by the debtors and does not speak for them. Mr. Bankman-Fried currently in the Bahamas, just chilling in the Bahamas. Just chilling in the Bahamas. It did all of this, and he's just hanging out in the Bahamas.
Come on, man.
What? Like I said, if this was a drug deal, you know what would have happened. Y'all seen Goodfellas. If this was a deal gone bad, you know what would have happened in the streets. But you do this in big corp, and you're just hanging out in the Bahamas. They're just hanging out in the Bahamas. Mr. Bankman-Fried, whose connections and financial holdings in the Bahamas remain unclear to me, recently stated to a reporter, F regulators, they make everything worse. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed a whole sentence. Mr. Bankman-Fried, currently in the Bahamas, continues to make erratic and misleading public statements. Mr. Bankman-Fried, whose connections and financial holdings in the Bahamas remain unclear to me, recently stated to a reporter on Twitter, F regulators, they make everything worse, and suggested the next step for him was to win a judicial battle versus Delaware.
Come on, man.
What? What? Talk about cocky and confident. Did y'all just see what I just read? That's the end of the document. Did y'all just see what I just read? Deleting messages, no records, making personal loans to himself of $1 billion, buying homes and other items. What did I miss? I mean, it was so much. Counterfeiting. Oh my God. I'm going to open up the phone lines. Y'all can call in. Hold on. Let me open them up in a good browser so nobody gets doxxed. Nobody sees somebody's phone number. All right. 202-596-5631. Ask questions. Let's talk about this document. Comments, concerns. 202-596-5631. I'm going to drop that in here. Let y'all weigh in on this. I'm going to hang out for about 30 minutes and I'm going to go and be with my family. Halawe said SBF likely a Mossad IDF ops to discredit crypto and usher in further regulations. Damn, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that was quick on the first caller. I knew it was Sketch. Sketch, what up, man? What's up, man? Talk to me. Facts. Facts. It's going to be a lot of ways to make money. It's going to be a lot of money in the solution, too. Yeah. Yeah, I was talking about that earlier in the stream. Yeah. Yeah, no. Facts. Oh, you said you can't hear him? Ah, you should be able to hear
When
him
you're
now.
not
My
scared
bad.
of the gov, it's because that's who you're working for.
Say that last piece again.
The only way you run that wild is because you're not scared of the gov. And if you're not scared of the gov, it's because you're working for them.
Bingo. Bingo. That's the only reason why you run that wild.
I bet see the Charlie Indigo Alpha people got in there. You got glowy funds in there going out too. Hey, go take care of that operation. You got money for that operation over there and over there.
Exactly.
Remember what your man Scott said over there, that sometimes there's some people, some places doing some things and they got a lot of power and they get in this kind of thing maybe. I don't know. Seems legit.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know, I need some money. I gotta go down, take care of some pipes with some oil in them. Operational funds.
Yep.
You need those black budgets.
Black budgets. I like that. Facts.
There's a lot of
and you know the funny thing is when you're dealing in crypto, it's even easier to have these black budgets.
I know. Especially, oh my God, and not only that, this is connected, right? These people are connected to all that. How much money they're talking about some numbers there, but that doesn't tell you how much ran through. It only tells you what the totals they have now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So they could have ran billions in and out to different places and washed it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they could have, like, you know, let's say some place, right, got some, you know, war budget, right? You could have ran it through there to different places, and you don't know how much ran through there.
Uh-oh.
Right? You only know how many was. It's like you don't know how many ran through it. You only know how many were on top of her when you caught her.
Exactly.
He's like, oh my God, I caught her in a gangbang. Yeah, you don't know how many ran through it.
We don't know because there's no records.
You only know you caught 5-10 people in there. Okay, but how many went through there?
Right.
How much money went through there?
Yeah. Shit. Wow.
Oh man, this is this could be funding so many shady things.
Who knows? We could use
Kickback Central.
Yeah. You let your imagination run wild. Hey man, I thank you for calling in, bro.
Appreciate you. Loving these lessons. You know, I try to be a good student. I encourage everybody out there.
Word,
Send
appreciate
donations.
it. Yes, tell them.
Hotep
and Bill. Sketch therapy, y'all. Man. Sorry I didn't have his audio in the beginning. That's fixed now. Classic Kev with the big boy super chat. People like Classic Kev keep this channel going and growing. I appreciate you, Classic Kev. I really do, man. I really do. You got to come out to HotepCon and have a beer with me, man. Let's jive and talk. Next August, Las Vegas, Nevada, at the Ahern Hotel. The best food you're going to find in the country, bar none. I promise you. Ask anybody that went. They're going to tell you the food was amazing. Grifties.com. If you guys haven't voted for Grifter of the Year, go do that now. Well, not now. When I get off of here, don't do it now. Stay here with me. Grifties.com after the stream. Inside of the Agency said every American should have this level of freedom. Can't argue there. Inside the Ages, he said the Fed prints money and dilute the same way. Yes. That's correct. That is dilution. Yes, absolutely. That is dilution. They really went and printed all those FTX tokens after the bankruptcy petition. That's wild. I appreciate y'all for helping me understand that point too. 202-596-5631. I'm still, like I said, I'm still a newbie / intermediate. I've been studying blockchain all week. I've been studying crypto like crazy. I'm not speaking. I'm a moderator on the stage at DecentraCon in Miami, 27th to the 28th. So you guys haven't got your tickets, go get tickets. I gave away 5 already. So my giveaway has already been done and complete. Um, so I've been studying crypto like crazy, and I'm getting caught up and understanding what some of these things mean, and learning and learning and learning. And I come from more studying traditional finance. I would say I'm not an expert level in traditional finance. I'm more in like maybe intermediate to advanced. I don't know, but I'm definitely not expert level in the financial world. I'm still learning a lot of these terms. But what I can say for people that want to learn, what you want to do is grab a document like this. This is a perfect document to learn finance. And every time you run across a term that you don't understand, go look it up. And when you start looking it up and they give you a term that you don't understand, look that term up. And if you don't understand that, go to YouTube and have somebody explain that term to you. Usually when I read something like this week, I'm in studying blockchain. So I'll read like 3 different blogs on the same topic. And then I'll go watch a YouTube video and I'll watch 3 videos on the same term, just so I can really make that information gel in my mind. He said, how do you bail out a company that mints tokens out of thin air and no paperwork? Facts. It's a really good question. It's a really, really good question. Shout out to my Rumblers. I didn't get any Rumble rants today. I think that's what they call. No, wait, what do they call them? Rumble money? I don't know what they call Rumble money on Rumble. I didn't get any over there today, but that's fine. We got 31 people tuned in over there. We're still building our Rumble channel. I need everybody to go support that, just in case the YouTube overlords get a little funky. I got suspended for 7 days a couple of weeks ago. So if you don't find me here, I'm on Rumble in the meantime until Hotep TV is built, and then I'll be almost exclusively on Hotep TV, unless Rumble cuts me in. If Rumble cuts me in on a deal, I might postpone that for a little while. Cut me in like a two-year deal or something like that. I don't know. Make me a partner. Something to that effect. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a wonderful presentation. Go to hotepjesus.com/podcast to get the audio version of this in a few coming days, and the rest of my wonderful conversations called Sharp Conversations with people like Scott Horton. I had Scott Horton on the channel last night. That was an amazing conversation. I got Sam Tripoli coming on and Lord Miles next week, so make sure you look out for that. And Hotep and Bill. Oh wait, shit, caller coming in. Wait, goddamn. Talk about at the buzzer.
Call from
Dan.
Dan, what's up, man? You just made it in.
Very good. I'm calling to talk crypto. I was wondering, do you think something like this could be put together for, sort of to bring into central bank digital currency? And then is that currency the mark of the beast? What are your thoughts on crypto being the mark of the beast?
Okay, I thought the mark of the beast was the brain chip.
So, yeah, it certainly could be.
So let me answer your question in totality, right? When it comes to the chip, when they try to microchip everybody, put it underneath our skin, or however that's concerned, it's going to be connected to the CBDC, central bank digital currency. Central bank digital currency technically already exists. We've seen it in many countries, Nigeria, China, etc. Also, it exists right now as USDC. You can trade with it right now. It's technically a CBDC, central bank digital currency, issued by the central bank. So it does exist right now. Let's not say it's coming. It's here.
Right.
Okay. The other factor is, what about it being issued and rolled out through the greater community? Yes, I do think this is an excuse for that.
Yeah.
I do think that that's what this is about. Some people have said this is a digital false flag. This is a digital Reichstag burning. And basically, it's what is it called? What do they say? Problem something solution, however that thing goes, right?
Yeah, that's Hegelian dialect, problem, reaction, solution.
Problem, reaction, solution, right? So it's that sort of situation where they create the problem just so they can be the solution. And people are saying that this guy might have been the patsy, he might have been the fall guy, it might have been the setup guy, so that the regulators can come in and start regulating the space.
Mm-hmm. And then what are your thoughts on the mark of the beast? Do you believe in sort of I know both Islam and Christianity, they have sort of their turbulations and you won't be able to buy or sell. Do you think that's in the next 5 or 10 years, or do you think that's in the next 2,000 years?
Won't be able to buy or sell what?
Oh, and like in Christian prophecy, those who do not take the mark of the beast won't be able to buy or sell, won't be able to engage in commerce. And that's what leads a lot of people to think that.
Oh, wow, really? Okay,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's Christian prophecy, and it's something that both in Christianity and Islam, the prophecy is they're going to get it. They're going to achieve their goal, but it's only going to last. Islam, I think, it's 3.5 years. Christianity, it's like 7. But yeah, that's sort of when people talk mark of the beast. That's what they use to coerce people to get the mark of the beast, is that you can't engage in commerce if you don't have the mark of the beast.
That's correct. So let me ask you this. Did you see my U.S. digital dollar presentation a couple of days back?
I did not catch that.
Okay, try to check that one out when you have a chance, because that is the technology behind CBDC using the Great Britain's pound or whatever they use, right? The British pound. So that sounds just like this Christian prophecy you're talking about. Basically, what's going to happen is if you are locked into these United States government and their CBDC, they're going to be able to regulate what you can and cannot buy using this coin. Now, this coin is going to be the thing. Let's say you shop at Amazon or, Wawa or whatever. They're only going to take this US CBDC, right? So it's correct. You will not be able to transact. And the funny thing is, as with it being crypto, they'll be able to tell you what items you can buy and how much of an item you can buy just by limiting the cryptocurrency itself. Okay. So yes, that sounds just like that Christian prophecy. Yeah. Now there's going to be an alt economy, and this alt economy is going to be happening with jailbroken smart devices. And there's going to be an alt economy. They used to call it alt-right, but this alt economy is going to exist with jailbroken devices. You see it in movies like Altered Carbon. I'm sorry, that's a Netflix series, Altered Carbon, and different dystopian situations like Terminator, where they hijack the Terminator and they reprogram it. You're going to have situations like that in the very near and far future, but we are going to have our own digital currency that we transact with each other in. And there's going to be a lot of things they're going to try and do to stop it, but from the technology aspect, they won't be able to stop it. They'll only be able to demonize it in the minds of the people, sort of like how they demonized anti-vaxxers over the past 2 years. That's that's what they do. They demonize crypto so people run away from it.
Yeah. Oh, very good. All right. Well, thank you very much for the time.
Hey, man, great call. Thank you. Appreciate you, man. Hotep and Bill.
Bye-bye.
Really great question from that caller. Phone lines are closed. I just closed the window. It's gone. It's gone now. You can't call in. That's it. That's the last caller. That's a wrap. Damn. The Christian prophecy. I do remember hearing that. I'm postponing my studies of religion until my 50s. So in 8 years, I'll be studying religion. At least that's what I think I'll be studying. The next, these 8 years, I'll be studying European history. It's basically, and European history as it relates to economics, specifically capitalism and communism. That's my major. And cryptocurrency is also something I'm always studying, just because out of necessity, because I want to be free.
You know, I want to be free. I don't want to be beholden to this system. You know what I'm saying? All right, I'm out of here. Hotep and Bill.